Hello and welcome back to another rebuild, and today we're going to be taking on, as you can see, relegation battlers. I wonder who that could be. And yes, you probably guessed it, we are going to go and turn our attentions over to Burnley, who are pretty much struggling at the moment coming back into the Premiership. Last season, as you can see, they finished in second position in the Championship, being promoted together with Leeds. However, this season in the Premiership, they are struggling down in 17th position, only 3 wins from 11, 10 points, 1 point away from Forest, who are 19th, quite some way off Wolves, who look like they're going to be a relegation fodder this season as well. So our task over the next 5 seasons will be to survive in the Premiership, hopefully get them into a top 10 finish at some point, and maybe, who knows, we might win something along the way as well. But ultimate goal is to establish them as a top 10 side in the Premiership. So first off, we want to have a look at the finances, and they have got £2.5 million in the bank, and they are giving us a £1 million transfer budget as well, which probably won't get you hardly anything, I don't think, especially with the 30 grand a week in salary as well, or wages per week in the Premiership. So the current season club vision then, over a 5-year plan, so it seems, remain in the Premiership. So that's going to be a plan, and of course if you want to establish ourselves in the top 10, we need to stay in the Premiership. The following season, apparently my contract ends, continue remaining in the Premiership for the next foreseeable future. And of course we want to be battling it out for Europe if we can towards the end of them 5 years. Before we carry on, if you do enjoy these rebuild series, then please smash that like button very early on, just so you don't forget, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already for many more. And also, if you could, in the comments below, let me know what sort of rebuild or what rebuild you would like to see redone next. So back to Burnley. Actionable objectives: expand the stadium. They're not judging us on that, so that's good. Grow the club's reputation, reserving judgment, and work within the wage budget is required. Of course it will be, won't it, I guess. So at the minute, the facilities, the training facilities are in excellent condition, which is fantastic. They've got a great youth facilities, so we'll try and utilise that as much as possible as well. See if we can bring some youth into the first squad and grow them as well. They're pretty adequate at the coaching academy and above average on the recruitment, so we're trying to increase that as well at the same time. Pitch is perfect. They've got a 22.5 all-seater stadium with a 22 capacity as well, so they've got more seats than capacity. I'm guessing that's just around the pitch than the additional seats, then I'm wondering. And the grass is synthetic mix. Oh, I was not aware. That's quite handy come winter. So if we have a look at our squad then as we go down, so if we have a look at age first, see what exactly we're dealing with. We have got 5 players 30 and above, namely Dubravka and Kyle Walker. They are well into the 30s, and same with Ashley Barnes as well. Whether or not we'll try and offload them is another matter. We might not get much for it, but 10 million, that would be suffice added to the budget, maybe. But if we have nobody else, we may have to settle with what we've got, although they have got a year left on the contract, so we shall see. Another goalkeeper, 34-year-old Czechoslovakia goalkeeper, 6'2", looks pretty reasonable. Are they the only goalkeepers we've got? Because that don't look good. A 36-year-old and a 34-year-old. We can probably have Dubravka for another season, possibly let him run down his contract, maybe. But if there's somebody else in the works, then we'll probably have a look at that. If we have a look at the other end, we've got a couple of players with some potential there, including Luca Colesio, a winger. Looks pretty decent, very quick actually, and he is out on loan to Espanyol currently. We've also got Leslie Ugoku. Again, some potential there. Not too bad midfielder. He's only 21 years old there, and 21-year-old Chuano. Again, another high potential play. He's currently on holiday. Wow. Physically, he looks fantastic. 16 acceleration, 14 pace. Looks great. He can cross the ball. He can dribble. Got some long shots on him as well, so that's pretty decent. So players that we could potentially use. Aaron Ramsey and Andreas, they're currently out on loan. Hannibal from Manchester United, I love the hair still. Has he still got the hair? I don't know. So again, midfielder, cam player. Yeah, them stats don't look too bad either. Bashir Humphreys, 22 years old. So a lot of players with a lot of potential. Hartman, 23-year-old left wing back or left back. Again, pretty decent. Maxime Esteve, 23-year-old defender. 6'4". Wow, we're going to probably need him, and hopefully he'll be here for the duration as well. Armando Broja, or Braja, striker, I believe. Again, 14 finishing is not bad. He's quite quick. Hopefully we'll be able to utilize him as well in a lot of games. They have got a lot of players, say about 25, 26 and under. Well, actually, there's not that many. Probably a third of the team, or maybe a quarter of the team, 27 and above. Axel Twanzebe, centre-back, ex-Manchester United, of course. 6'1", could be useful. They're under 21s, and if we go by potential, probably... Max Weiss, goalkeeper. What's this? Has ESC work permit place, has been allocated one of the club's permit places. Okay, we could potentially use him in goal. He's 21 years old. He's worth 12 million. Maybe we utilise him and stick him into the first team straight off the bat, maybe, if we can't get anybody else. It's a risky thing to do, but he's 6'3", and I think he's got the stats to do it. So I think we're going to do that straight away. So Max, you're coming to the first team. And same with Jaden Bernal as well, or Bainal. 5'8", a winger. Could be pretty useful and reasonably quick as well. And if we have a look at the under 18s as well, James Lewis seems to be the pick of the bunch. He's contracted for a couple of seasons. He is 15 years old, a midfielder, quite somewhat way to go. So our first team looks a little bit like this now. So we've brought in Weiss as a goalkeeper. Hopefully we will utilise him, depending on how well he does. But yeah, I would like to use him. He's got some high potential in him, and he looks pretty good, actually, to be fair. Some of them stats look really, really outstanding, and he's 6'3" as well, which is going to help. So first of all, we need to sort out a formation as well, and we'll do that, and then we'll come back when we're about to start. But other than that, I think the side itself looks pretty good, looks pretty decent enough to survive the Premiership, and also at the same time we may need to make one more signing, I believe, but we have put up a few up for transfer, namely some of the older ones and some of the ones that are running out of contract, which, to be perfectly honest, I don't think we'll be renewing, like Ashley Barnes possibly. Laurent we're going to hang on to because he's the early left-sided defender. I think we've got Axel, we've given a new contract to, so we're waiting on him. Our goalkeeper, we've put him on the market. Dubravka, 36 years old, he'll probably stay here till the end of his contract as well. And Delacroix as well, that will I think we've offered him a contract as well, just so we've got some players in these positions. So the club histories, they have got 2 Premier League wins under the belts, or the old Division 1, 1920 and 61. They have got 1 FA Cup, so it would be nice to win that trophy. They've got a couple of championship wins, so they have been up and down, actually, to be honest. 23 they won it, then went straight down the following season, then gone back up. So they are pretty much a yo-yo side at the moment. Any European trophies today, they have got an Anglo-Scottish Cup, but I don't think that would be classed as a European trophy. So no European trophies to date. So again, if we can get ourselves into Europe, that will be pretty amazing as well. So let me go away and we'll come back once we've got everything sorted and we're about ready to kick off. So despite our efforts to bring in a right back, we managed to do it on deadline day, right at the very end, for £6.75 million from Lugano. We bring in Mattia Zanotti, a right back. He can play wing back and midfield as well, but Kyle Walker kept getting injured, so we needed somebody to back up as well, and we got some other injuries to other players, and Twanzebe can play there. We've locked him into a central defensive position, so he couldn't really assist. Zanotti comes in with a 3-star, 4-star potential. He looks pretty good, a decent backup, or in fact I think we may lock him in. I'm not quite sure. He's going to battle it out with Kyle Walker, of which I would assume Kyle Walker to go ahead and win that battle, maybe for the final season, I don't know. Most of his stats look pretty decent. Physicals look quite good. Aggression's nice. Work rate's pretty good. Determination's not bad either. And the rest of it with crossing and dribbling looks pretty decent on that right-hand side as well. And then quite a few players going out on loan, of which we managed to send out one of our goalkeepers on loan. He's gone to Wrexham. I'm not sure whether some of them loan deals gave us some money up front, but somehow we managed to have about an additional £5 million to the £1 million we already had. So I'm not quite sure what happened there, but there was money in the kitty to be spent, so we went ahead and did it. To be perfectly honest, anything less than Zanetti wasn't particularly good, to be fair. So our squad and formation is that it is just the default 4-3-3 counter-attack. We are going positive rather than cautious, and out of possession we're just dropping the wingers back and helping out everybody else and just leaving one up front. It's worked perfectly well so far. But we are locking in Bainal. He is a left-sided winger. He looks pretty decent. He's got high potential. I brought him in because Edwards was injured. We may unlock him out of that position. I don't know, but I'm interested to see how well he does. And he's started off pretty well at the moment. We've also locked in Hannibal because he can move him to cam position, but he's quite happy playing midfield. Twanzibi, like I say, we've locked him in as a ball playing defender, and Vice, we're locking him in ahead of Dubrovka. So yeah, that's going to be a risk I'm willing to take for this first season. So hopefully these guys will grow very, very quickly. As far as fixtures go, they're not been that bad actually, to be honest. I'm quite liking the friendlies. We've won every single one of them. We did get to play Spurs the first game of the season. We had an equaliser for Brozier in a 1-1 draw. Then we played Sunderland and we beat them 3-1 at home. We played Sheffield United in the Carabao Cup. Brozier on the score sheet once again. In fact, I think he scored in all the games so far. Brilliant. And then, unfortunately, we did lose to Manchester United. Despite Brozier getting a 1 back in the second half, we just couldn't capitalise and to go forward for at least an equaliser in that one, therefore losing the game 2-1. We are currently lying mid-table, so I'm quite happy with that. That's whereabouts we want to be finishing up. Really first season, but ideally we just want to survive. And it's United with that one win against us have lost 2 games already this season. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us who they have lost against though, unless we actually go into them. But they've conceded 8 goals already. I'm intrigued now. I need to find out who they lost to. 4-0 to Fulham and 3-2 to Arsenal. Wow. That's not a great start, but it looks like they're starting to find their feet. But saying that, they've only played Leeds and ourselves. So, but if we have a look at the preview, we are predicted to finish bottom. 1,000 to 1 to go straight back down. Okay, we'll see what happens, but I think we're good enough to stay up. So let's jump into our first season. Let's simulate and see where we get up to. So after a not so bad start, we went unbeaten through October with wins over Aston Villa away from home. And then we went away to Wolves as well, and we beat them 2-0, which gave us a good basis in the league right at the very start. We did, however, lose to Arsenal not long after, but it was a very, very close game. And late December, we managed a victory against Everton as well. Manchester United soon followed very early on in the January, obviously hung over from the festivities. And February saw us draw a fantastic game 4-4 with Chelsea. Man City did beat us, but again, it was another close game like the Arsenal one, as we finished off the season with a superb 1-0 victory over Wolves, which did land us a 9th place finish, 15 wins, 11 draws, 12 losses, which isn't bad, and a plus goal difference. Fantastic. Only 2 wins in the last 5 games, but beggars can't be choosers at this point. I wanted to survive, and mid-table would have been fantastic, and that's exactly what we have done. But we've not only just survived, as we finished 16 points ahead of relegated Brighton, who go down with Sunderland and Leeds. Liverpool win the league at a canter, 20 points ahead, which is just phenomenal, scoring 94 goals and conceding just 31. And scoring the goals, as you would expect, Haaland at top goal scores with 30 goals from 25, that's his age, sorry, to 36 games. I wish they wouldn't do that. And Brozier finishes second leading goal scorer with 21 goals from 37. That is fantastic. I did not expect that at all. And our young goalkeeper, Max Weiss, 10 clean sheets, only conceded 51, which I'm quite happy with actually, in 38 appearances. He wasn't that far off winning the Golden Glove. Alright, maybe quite a bit, but he wasn't far behind Donnarumma, who only had 11. The FA Cup, however, we got knocked out in the 4th round by QPR, and we lost that 2-0 at home. That's disappointing. And the Carabao Cup, we got knocked out in the 3rd round by Crystal Palace, not really getting that far. As we have a look at the 3rd round, we lost 2-1 away. So we fared a bit better away from home than we do at home, apparently. So looking at our goals, Brozier got 23 goals overall in 40 games. That's pretty good. I'm quite liking that. And Hannibal fared quite well as well. 10 goals, 5 assists. That's not bad from midfield. And it looks like he's grown a little bit as well, actually. If we just have a quick look. Yeah, some of his stats have gone up, which is fantastic. Will make a midfielder out of you, yeah, unless we go cam position in there. And Burnley, the youngster, the 21-year-old from the academy, 8 and 6. I would have liked to see assists a lot more out on the wing, but I tell you what, I'm quite happy with that. And Edwards, obviously, Burnley's taken his place for this season, 8 and 7. So he fared slightly better in less games, which you probably would expect because he is only 27 himself. So a lot more experience. But if we have a look at goals-wise, we did struggle for goals, though, it has to be said. But other than that, not too bad. But Vice, 55 conceded in 42. That's not bad overall. Zanatti, he did play 10 games, 4 off the bench with 2 assists. So that's not too bad. A good replacement for Kyle Walker, who did play 32 with 5 assists. So yeah, I think he can step into them shoes quite comfortably going into next season. And speaking of, what are they going to be giving us for next season? So it seems that, wow, okay, 45 million. That's a big boost, although wages budget, it doesn't appear that we got any. We may have to transfer some over, so we may not even be able to spend that much unless we offload a few players, which we have got a few aging players which we can move on. Hopefully we'll have around about 35 plus to spend, but we'll get onto that as soon as possible. So once again, we have a very busy window. We do sell players on for 33.5 million and we spend a massive 147 million pounds. So starting off with the outs first, Amdouni, he goes to Leicester for 12.75. We also lose Sambo to Villarreal for 10.25. 8 million. Hull City take Connor Roberts off our books, and we also lose Dodgson as well. A couple of the players going out on loan and some players released on a free as well, with Kyle Walker on the last transfer day going out on loan to Girona. We're trying to offload him. We couldn't really do it. We have got up and coming young players that we want to get into the side. So Barco Valentin from Strasbourg, 47.5 million pounds. He's proven to be an absolute steal at that price. He's going to come in as our midfielder. He looks superb. 22 years old. The perfect player we want in that position. And if anybody decides to steal him, they're going to have to pay a very hefty price for him. Florentino Lewis, that was a transfer that was already pre-done, and he joins us for 36.5 million. We also sign Wilfred Gnonto from Leeds as a right winger. He can also play up front, which is going to be quite handy, but he comes in for a massive 35 million pounds as well. We also bring in Marco Di Casere from Racing Club, a centre-back, I think he was. We just needed somebody else in there and somebody with some experience. And he comes in at 24 years old, looks superb. And we also bring in £8 million from Brentford, a backup goalkeeper, Voldmerson. He's quite happy to come in as a backup, but he may get some game time, who knows. We are still looking for that perfect goalkeeper, so money permitting, we may do that later on in the rebuild, or may not, depending how these young goalkeepers do. He is 29 years old, but quite happy to be as a backup, like I say. And then a couple of youngsters coming in as well on a free. So we're going to set up a little bit like this, a 4-3-3 with a DM, a midfield, and a cam player where Hannibal's going to be playing. And if we pick our best 11, hopefully it pick up the players that we want. Walker's still in there. He's not at the club anymore. So Valentin comes in there. We got Vice, we got De Casere, Esteve, Hartman. There has been a lot of interest in him. We managed to hang on to him. Luis, Barco, Tuciana. We've got Anonto playing on that right hand side, which ideally I want him on that side, but whichever way it goes, we have got other players like Bainal is not actually there, so I'm not sure where he's at the moment. Hannibal and Brozier up front. And if we have a look at our fixtures, it's gone pretty well. I'm quite happy with that at the moment. Unbeaten in the friendlies. We did start with a 1-1 draw against Forest away from home, where Brozier got a 94th minute equaliser, so very stoked about that to not come away with a loss. Then we played Hull City, beat them 4-0. Bournemouth, we beat them 1-0. Crystal Palace 3-1, and then Tranmere away in the Carabao Cup, of which now we've got Blackpool in the next round. And amazingly, we're currently lying in third position, which is fantastic. So as long may that continue, right behind Spurs and Liverpool. So the preview for this season, they still have us 500 to 1, but we're not bottom, so that's good to see. But we're definitely going to be upsetting the odds as we aim for a European spot possibly, and definitely a top 10 finish. So let's jump into season 2 and let's see where that takes us. So after a very good start to the season, we continued our form with a 2-1 victory over Everton in September, and needing to beat teams that round about us. Ipswich was one of them, 4-1 away from home, followed by a 2-0 at home to Fulham. We did suffer some defeats in December, including Man City and Newcastle, but we had a very comprehensive 4-0 win in our penultimate game towards the end of the season. Once again, we finished in the top 10 and 9th position once more, this time missing out on a European spot by looks of things by 3 points. Although I do believe Chelsea may have got that through winning the competition. However, Manchester United in 7th, Aston Villa in 6th, so a further 7 points. Disappointing not to hit Europe this time around. I think we did slightly worse than last season. I think we got 56 points. We only got 53 this time. But the wins are getting there, and we are starting to believe in ourselves that we are a mid-table team. Fulham, however, go down with Hull and West Ham. And Liverpool win the league once again, but this time the gap is a little bit closer. Competition-wise, however, FA Cup we bowed out at the quarterfinals, losing to Liverpool in the end, who go on to the final but lose to Man City. But if we have a look where we finished the quarterfinals, 3-0. We lost to the eventual finalists, Liverpool, at home. So disappointing, but probably not surprising. Man City battered Oxford 8-1. And in the Carabao Cup, we got as far as the semi-finals again, this time losing to Liverpool once more. Not having much luck. And they played the other Manchester club, this time winning it after extra time. As we will find out how we did against them. We lost 5-1 over the 2 legs. 3-0 in the second leg. So again, another disappointing result. So Liverpool, we played far too many times this season. Oxford, again, getting to a semi-final or a latter stages of a cup competition. They've done remarkably well this year. So we have a look at the squad then. Goals-wise, Brozier scores 14 goals, a far cry from last season. Barcode does remarkably well, 12 and 8. That's not too bad from the position he was in. 12 and 4 for Hannibal. Again, another outstanding display from him. With Gnonto as well, 8 and 5. I would have probably expected a bit more, but maybe he might lead the line next season. Barco's starting to drift off a little bit, so we shall see. Maybe we go 2 up front next season, I don't know. A few more goals from a few more players. In fact, it's a lot better than last season. And our goalkeeper, where is he? How many did he? 67 and 45. So did he not play all the games? He might have done, actually. And our backup goalkeeper, 5 conceded in 3 with 2 clean sheets. Vice only got 12 clean sheets this season, so I'm not quite sure if that's better than last season. It might be, but again, at 22 years old, he does look pretty good and improving all the time, so maybe he is our goalkeeper at the moment. But I think he does need better players in front of him just to help him out a bit more. So going into next season, we have £48.5 million once again. We have got an additional 123,000 a week in wages as well, so we may have to sell a few more players to increase that. But I think we definitely are on the right track and definitely in the right projection going into season 3. So another crazy window as we let go of £70 million worth. Kasere, he's gone to Saudi Arabia. Just the 1 season with us in the end. £36 million he goes for. We make £15.5 million profit on him. He didn't want to stay and it was causing up a little bit of a stink, so we had to let him go. Hull have bagged Ugochukwu for just under 10 million. Perez has gone to Venezia for 6.25. We also lose Andreas and then Fleming and Delacroix. So we're trying to offload some of the players that we're not going to be using. And our goalkeeper, he's gone to Newcastle as well for 2.7 million. A lot of players going out on loan, including Bayer and Foster and Larson. They're not going to get the game time here. And so a lot of movement happening this window as we spend £100 million. And if we put them in order, £30 million on Christoph Zoferes, a Greek midfielder, looks absolutely superb. 26 caps for his country, and he just looks phenomenal in that midfield. We also bring in from Rangers 27.5 million Oliver Antman. He's going to be on the wings. Looks pretty good, very pacey. 36 caps for his country as well, and he's only 26 years old as well. And also in defence from Augsburg, we bring in Matt Seamer for £20 million. Again, another phenomenal 6'4" player. Bags of physical attributes there, including mentals as well. Looks really, really nice. We also bring in from Nice 16 million. This was deadline day. Victor Arakpo, a forward. I realised we hadn't got really any forwards left. And he comes in as a 21-year-old with bags of pace, excellent finishing, and not too bad a career behind him as well. So yeah, we looked forward to see him ousting Brozier up front. And also bringing a goalkeeper, Van der Voort. Because we lost Vladimirson, we had to bring in somebody else, and for £5 million we can't really argue too much. He's quite happy to be a backup, and at 6'4" as well. He's definitely going to be challenging. So we are changing the formation up slightly. We are going with a 4-2-3-1. We're going to go more aggressive this season, and out of possession we're just dropping back a tad as well. So if we pick our best 11, if it lets me, that was just quick pick. That is it. So all our players are in there that we want him. Humphries is getting ahead of Esteve there. Interesting, but yeah, he's kicking up a fuss as well, wanting to leave. So he's getting some game time, obviously. Zanotti, Hartman, Antman, Gnonto, Hannibal. Brozier is coming ahead of Arakpo, but I'm expecting Arakpo to be somewhere in the region of challenging as well. So far, so good. We played Wolves first game of the season, beat them 4-2. Crystal Palace was a 0-0. Then we played Ipswich, which we win 3-1. We did beat Wolves again, this time in the Carabao Cup on penalties. That's just before losing to Arsenal, despite taking a 1-0 lead in that game as well. And then we've just got past Preston in the next round of the Carabao, winning that one on penalties as well. We are currently sitting in 8th position. That's not a bad place to be. We're 5 points off the leaders, Man City and Spurs, who are 4 for 4 currently. And if we have a look where we're predicted, we are now... I was hoping to be a bit further away from the relegation, and we are 16th. I'm hoping for another mid-table finish, if not a little bit higher than 9th this time. So let's jump into season 3 and let's see if we can bag a European spot this season. This season has seen us with a very much improved results, including a 2-1 victory over Manchester United at home, with 2 goals coming in the space of 2 minutes. And then out of nowhere, couple of games later, after a 0-0 draw with Chelsea, we beat Manchester City away from home. We still ended up losing the odd game like Bournemouth and Newcastle, and then an epic game against Brighton, winning for that one 5-3. We did the double over Manchester United, this time at Old Trafford, with a much improved scoreline, 4-0. Brentford got a taste of the medicine also with a 5-0 victory, before finishing off the season with a 2-2 draw at home to Liverpool and a brilliant 3-0 victory over Forest at the City Ground. And that gave us a 5th position spot, and more importantly, a Europa League spot as well. 65 points, 6 points off gaining a Champions League spot actually. Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool and Newcastle all take them positions, and it was this time Arsenal winning the league by the odd point, with Liverpool some way behind this time around. Unfortunately though, the cup competitions, the FA Cup, we bowed out the 4th round to Southampton, with Arsenal I think winning that one, did I just see? As we lost to Southampton in the 4th round on penalties. And the Carabao Cup, we bowed out of the 4th round as well, this time by Everton. Chelsea going on to win that competition, as we lose on penalties after a 0-0 draw. But our squad, however, if we go by goals, 21 goals there for Brozier, not bad going at all. Hannibal weighs in with 13. Antman, 12 and 13 from the wing. That is fantastic. Exactly what we want from him. Nonto, 11 and 6. Not bad. A bit more improvement needed, I think. Barco, 5 and 7. A little bit muted in midfield, possibly. And Ramsey, 14 starts with 4 and 4. So he got some game time as well. We are looking to move him along as well. Arakpo, did he play? He played 4 games starts, 7 off the bench, 3 goals. hoping to see a massive improvement from him as well, as I want him to challenge Brozier for that striker position. And our goalkeepers, Weiss, he got conceded 29 and 31, which is brilliant. 11 clean sheets. And Van der Voort as well, he played 12 games, conceding 20 with 1 clean sheet. So overall, not bad. I still think there's room for improvement and probably better quality players as well, as it's good to see Zanotti getting some game time on that right back position as well with 27 starts. And it looks like Bainal has now dropped off as well, which is a shame, but he's looking to leave. We may cash in on him at that as well at 23 years. It's a shame because I did think he would have a lot of potential, but looks like he's just gone by the wayside a little bit. So going into next season then, we need some cash to improve, and they're going to be giving us, hopefully they'll give us a little bit more than that, because 325,000 doesn't seem an awful lot, especially when we're going to be in Europe next season. So just before we get into the transfers, that's the reason why we had no money. We're in debt apparently. We've got no money in the bank, and we're about 150 million pounds in debt, which I'm not quite sure what has happened. But if we do go into it, so apparently we took out we've been taking out loans. I wasn't aware. I didn't realise we were in so much debt. So apparently we've had it for a good few years, even before we started. So the fact that we had loads of money, it doesn't seem like we've got it again. So but I'm not sure what they spent it on, to be honest. But if we have a look at our transfers and see how we've done, if I can find it now, transfer history, there we go. It's so hard trying to find out everything. So out the door, we do lose Kalosho. He's gone to Saudi Arabia for 1.7 million. A couple of players on loan, and then we did release some players like Ramsey, Foster, a couple of other youngsters as well. So only 1.7 million being brought in, and we only spent 42 grand in transfers. Not sure who that's on, and that's on Fernandez from Nacional. He's going to be sitting in our youngsters, under 21s, I guess. He doesn't look too bad, I guess. But other than that, we did bring in a couple of players, but they were all free. First one is Mario Stroikens. He is a can play up front and midfield, which is going to be quite handy. 23 years old, looks superb, sitting there on a free. We bagged him. At least if we do sell him, we can make some money on him as well. We also bring in Andre Santos, a free agent again, midfielder or DM if need be. Again, another decent player. Again, more money if we can sell him on as well. So I think that we've just turned into that sort of club at the moment, and I think only because I just could not resist, we bring in Emil Hoyland, brother of Rasmus and Oscar as well. He's got another brother. Again on a free, he can play up front, Cam, and on the wing as well. We did give him a run out in one of the friendlies and he scored, so I was very tempted to lock him in for this season, but potentially it's not brilliant, but just because of the name, we might still end up using him at some point here as an emergency backup. At 23 years old. Kind of looks like Rasmus as well, actually. Yeah, not an awful lot happening in the window, so just free agents coming in. And a squad, we're going to sit like this. We're going to try it again, although I am tempted to push the DM onto midfield because of the results you'll soon see in just a second. So if we do pick our best 11, Hannibal comes straight in for our new signing, and apart from that, our new signings don't appear, unfortunately, but we only could get them in as a backup, really. And apart from that, and Humphries is keeping Esteve out, who's kicking up a little bit of a stink now because he wants the game time. But if Hartman's injured, he can slot into that slot as well. So we have got players available if need be. And it has been a little bit topsy-turvy in the fixtures so far. We've drawn all of our games in the league so far. 2 away games, Brighton and Bournemouth. And we did have a good 1-1 draw at home to Liverpool, with Brozier scoring in the 37th minute to equalise. And then we had another draw, but we did win on penalties against Sheffield Wednesday at home. So we've had 3 away games. We haven't lost away from home. So I've got to be quite happy with that at the moment. We are in Europe. In fact, we're in the Champions League. I'm not quite sure how that's happened, but we've hit the big time. What? I thought we were in Europa. Maybe some of the bigger clubs. That's insane. We've got Sevilla. We've got Newcastle, PSG, Dortmund, Rennes, Olympiacos, Inter Milan and Juventus. Oh my goodness. If we have a look at the league, we are lying in 13th position. It doesn't tell us whether that's the case or not, but I can't believe that. And we are 13th to finish in the league. So that's a big improvement from where we were a couple of seasons and last season even. Nobody in the Dream 11 just yet, but that's not surprising. But again, we want a top 10 finish and possibly a European spot as well. Now we're in the big time, and hopefully with that we bring in some more money as well. And this is confirmation of the Champions League. We are in the group stage. Oh my. This is crazy. I can't believe it. If we get past the group stage, I'll be absolutely amazed. Well, this is going to be one hell of a ride this season, I feel. And yeah, maybe it might be wise to go all defensive for the formation this time around. So let's jump into season 4. We've got our wish. We're in Europe. And crazily, it's the Champions League. So another good start to the season, which included a 2-1 victory at home to Middlesbrough before we got absolutely and totally annihilated by Spurs 5-0 away from home. And then the following game, Man City did the same to us, except we were at home this time. The wins were not coming as frequent as before, but we do get one over Sunderland, 2-1. And then we have an unbeaten November, which included a 3-0 victory away at Wolves. December came with just one defeat. However, we did go over to Old Trafford and win that one 2-1, but draws were ever too frequent this time around in the second half of the season, including Everton 1-1 and Arsenal. And that really didn't improve all the way to the end of the season. It was very sporadic with wins as we finish in 9th position, shy of a European spot this time around. 15 wins, 12 draws, which is an awful lot, joint most in the league. So if we had some of them into wins, then it might have been a different story. However, we couldn't emulate last season's 5th place finish. Champions League, however, got off to a good start with a 2-1 victory over Sevilla, followed by a 1-1 draw with Newcastle. We even had a great game against PSG, finishing that one 1-1, and we took the lead in that one as well. We lost to Dortmund, which was probably expected, but we beat Rennes 2-1 in France. Olympiacos was a tough game, drawing that one 1-1 before losing to Inter and Juventus in the group stage. But we have to be happy with that, with our first showing in the Champions League. 2 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. We only conceded 13 goals. However, goals were pretty much a problem in the Champions League, with 9 points and just scraping through to the next round. Where, of course, we played Arsenal and they beat us. It was a close game, however. Despite a 0-0 second leg draw, we did lose the first one 2-1, therefore knocking us out of the competition. And it was actually Real Madrid that went on to win it from Liverpool. In the other competitions, the FA Cup, we got knocked out in the semi-final by Manchester United, who go on to win it from Spurs in the end, as we bow out 3-1 at Wembley. And the Carabao Cup, we got beaten by Southampton in the 4th round. Spurs going on to win that one, as we lose out on penalties to the Championship outfit. Goals came from Brozier with 20 goals, 12 from Hannibal, and Stroikens as well. He got himself 10 goals as well, which is very, very good indeed. 10 assists there from Barco, which isn't too bad, better than last season. 9 and 7 from Nanto. Not really improving that much, but he looks pretty good already though. 25 years old. His physicals still look immense. And a goalkeeper this time around, Vice, has conceded 81 goals. Wow, in 52. He just seems to have got worse and worse, doesn't he? He is worth up to £50 million. And I mean, stats wise, he still looks pretty decent at 6'3". Like I say, he's only 24 years old, so still a fairly young goalkeeper. And Van de Voort, he did play a few games, conceding 2 with 1 clean sheet, so not bad at all for him. Nice to have him as a backup. So the goalkeeping situation, I don't think we really have an issue. I don't know, unless there's somebody else that comes along that's better maybe, but I don't think we'll be looking into the market for a goalkeeper. But we may have to change the formation a little bit, as we just seem to have gone backwards with the extra games of the Champions League, obviously straining our lads a little bit. So getting into next season, we still have a negative bank balance, and we've only got 95 million of the debt remaining, which is fantastic. But if we look at the transfer budget, 12 million, it's better than nothing. It's better than what we had last time, and we have got just about £2,000 a week in wages increase, so we'll probably lose some of that budget to bring a few players in, but more than likely we'll look into the free markets again this season and solidify our top 10 status in the Premier League. Pretty difficult window, as you can probably imagine, with not much money to spend, and it wouldn't really grab you anything. We did, however, manage to sell a couple of players. Loom Chuchuna, he's gone to Hull for 16.5 million. We make a £3.5 million profit on him, and Twanzibi has gone to Monzo, 8 million, and that was all profit as well. Cameron Thomas has gone to Birmingham for 1.1, one of the youngsters. And apart from that, just a couple of releases. Son has gone as well. So only 25.5 million brought in. It did boost our budget up a little bit to enable us to bring in a couple of players. The first one from Liverpool is Giovanni Leone, £25 million. He's going to be our defender at the back. We needed some more strength. He's very physical, 6'5" as well, good heading, jumping, got great determination, anticipation as well, so that's all brilliant. So he's going to be our number one centre back for this season. And also we bring in Patrick Wimmer from Wolfsburg for £22.5 million to be our right winger, although he can play left. In fact, he can play every position apart from centre back and goalkeeper, which is absolutely brilliant. So he's 28 years old, bags of experience, and very, very cheap as well. Mentals look ridiculous along with his physicals, so hopefully he'll give us a hand in the attacking department. And at the moment you can see he's had 3 assists in 4 games. We are changing the formation up again. We've decided to go for a 4-2-4 this time. Instead of having DMs, we've got midfielders. We've got a great array of midfielders, so we might as well utilise them, and we're going at wingers as well. So if we pick our best 11, Barco comes in, Zafreris comes in, Wimmer on the right, Nonto on the left. We've got Strodkins and Brozier up front. I was very tempted to put Højlund up there. He's scored a couple of goals for us already in one game, but I've left it so that they can fight it out between themselves, but I'm not so sure. Maybe that they should go that way around, possibly. I don't know. Either way, it's working. So at the moment, 3 goals for Brozier, 1 for Stroikens as well. And as you can see, because we locked Leone in, he's in fact a best 11 anyway. But apart from that, our 2 new signings are in the side, which is exactly what I want to see. Also, we bring in Travis to the first team. He's had a couple of games already, a goal and 2 assists. He's from our academy, 19 years old. He looks absolutely brilliant, masses of potential. And hopefully he will get the game time this season, because there's no reason why he cannot challenge for a place on that right hand side. He can also play up front as well, which is remarkable considering he's only got 9 finishing. But if he's happy to play there as well, wherever he can, that's great. And he can play on the left hand side as well, so a welcome addition to the side. So far so good in the fixtures. We started off with Bournemouth with the 2-2 draw. I think that's where Højlund got a couple of goals. No, Travis got a goal in that one. We did beat Arsenal 4-1. Højlund and Brozier netting a brace apiece in this one. Brilliant 4-1 result. Norwich 3-0 in the Carabao Cup first round. Everton we drew 1-1 thanks to a Brozier equaliser. And we've just beaten Newcastle in the Carabao second round, I think that is. Unfortunately, no European football this year, so we can concentrate on the league and get ourselves established as a top 10 side at least. And with that, we are lying 6th in the table, 1 win, 2 draws. I'm quite happy with that so far. We're only 4 points off the leaders Manchester United, who are 3 for 3, which sounds very strange saying that at the moment. And the season preview for this season, while we have jumped into 12th position, I would have liked to be in the top 10 at this point, media prediction, but I tell you what, I'm quite happy. Everton are 2,000 to 1 to go down. Goodness me. That I did not see coming. And unfortunately, we've still not got anybody in the Dream 11. But you look at the players that are in there, you probably can see why. So let's jump into our final season. Let's see if we can finish again in the top 10 and once more establish ourselves up there. And if we can get a cup along the way in the final season, would be brilliant to finish it off. And more importantly, can we gain ourselves a European spot this time? It seems the draws seem to be mounting up one hell of a lot once again, with draws over Brentford and Derby in quick succession. We did, however, have a fantastic home victory over Manchester United, with Hannibal netting a hat-trick. And then out of nowhere, we plunged into what I can say is an absolute massacre of Brighton, beating them 7-2 on their own turf. We still draw games at home, unfortunately, but away from home, our form isn't too bad at all. Our away form was starting to be a real asset to us as we take on Arsenal at the Emirates. And despite Arsenal coming at us very early on, we were already 1-0 up at this point after 6 minutes. but a goal kick from Weiss really set us on our way for a second goal on 7 minutes, with Brozier running free after a brilliant through ball from Zafiris. We just see him just there, look at that, and then somehow from here he managed to score, giving us a 2-1 victory overall. The very next game, away from home yet again. This time we dispose of Chelsea 3-1, and then some home wins in quick succession against Southampton and Wolves really propelled us up that table. Towards the end of the season, however, league leaders Manchester United slipped up as we beat them 2-1 at home with a run of 5 wins on the bounce at the end of the season. And that once again gave us a top 10 finish, and more importantly a top 5 finish and a Champions League spot as well, which is fantastic as we only lose 8 games this season, 11 draws, still pretty high, 19 wins as we scored 76 goals, conceding 65 however, but we were not that far off a top 3 finish, and in fact 9 points off Manchester United, who won the league, which again is very odd saying. Goals wise, we got Tierno Barry from Everton leading the way in the goals tally with 20 goals from 37 appearances. We have our very own Brozier netting 16 from 32, and Haaland 16 as well, only from 31 however. But wow, we're in the same leagues as Haaland now. That's fantastic. Sesko of Manchester United 18 goals, but that 20 goals from Barry, where did that come from? We did however get to the final of the FA Cup. We played Bournemouth as we beat Arsenal in the semi-finals, with Ant-Man passing it out wide to Barco to finish a lovely mood in stoppage time, 96th minute, with Brozier netting the third and final goal in a 3-0 victory. Hannibal getting the rebound, putting it back in, and Brozier just turning, and Zanotti getting the winner. And make that 2 finals this season as we play Spurs in the Carabao Cup final with some lovely play at the back, patient build-up. And it is Wimmer that will be on the end of this one, with Hartman on that left-hand side to cross it in as he sets us on our way for a formidable 3-0 victory in the final against Spurs. So to go alongside our 5th place finish in the league, we win the FA Cup and we win the Carabao Cup. So a domestic double in cup competitions. A fantastic way to finish the season off, and the rebuild as well. And our squad, if we have a quick look at them as well, we had a lot of players on double figures. 6 players scoring 10 goals or more, with assists galore as well. Nonto 13 assists alongside his 10 goals. We also have Travis, the 19-year-old, who looks absolutely superb now if we have a look at his stats. I mean, they look amazing. At 19, his first full season in the first team, absolutely phenomenal stuff from our academy players. 10 and 12 for him. That's a brilliant return. Patrick Wimmer, 11 and 8. Stroikens, 12 and 2. 14 and 5 for Hannibal. He just looks every bit of his money's worth. He's now 27, and it just looks phenomenal really as well. And a good 6-foot player, playing out either attacking wings or midfield. Very versatile. Ambrosia, again, leading goal scorer with 18 goals. Hartman, he got 16 assists, which is, and again, another phenomenal outcome from one of our wing backs. And Barco, 11 assists from him as well. So everybody really put in a shift in this season, and they all got a bit of game time. Even Jaden Anthony, who we have been trying to offload, he managed to get 2 games off the bench as well. But goalkeeping, yeah, that really does need looking at coming forward. But 25-year-old Max Weiss, he's really done the job for us this season, so we can concentrate on the outward players. But only 78 conceded in 46, still very high. Needs to be a lot less if we're going to win competitions, but we've won 2, which is fantastic. So very, very pleasing. So maybe if you take this save on, which can be found in the link below at kofi.com, you might be wanting to change him out for another goalkeeper. And some of these players I've not really played with, to be perfectly honest. Players I wouldn't even dream of signing even. Max Weiss, probably in a better team. Maybe he might do better, I don't know. He has got high potential and still only 25 years old. But with this file as well, you will be given a transfer budget, and that will be, you will have £6 million, which doesn't seem an awful lot, and you are about £1,000 a week over budget on wages. There are 72 million remaining debt. It was lower than that, but it looks like it's increased again, and they have got the minus 25 in the bank as well. So yeah, not much to really go on, but a challenge all the same. Can you go on and keep them in the top 10, which we have remained to do so in this rebuild, which was the main task anyway, to establish themselves as a top 10 and to get them into Europe as well at the same time is fantastic. So you will have a Champions League football next season, which is brilliant, but not an awful lot in wages and transfer money. So this is where we're going to leave you. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Smash that like button as well. Share the video, and we'll see you again on the next rebuild. Thank you.